everyone. Just a very quick update before I get into the video. There's actually been an update to the English patch since I've made the video yesterday. So just in case you're wondering why the name files look outdated in the rest of the video compared to what you're going to see when you actually open the Discord group, that would be the reason. I hope you enjoyed the video and good luck. First of all, I must sound absolutely dreadful. I've been having a cold for a few days now. However, I have a very exciting news for everyone. The Chinese Mobile Wonderland Online finally has an English patch, which has been fan-made by a few people in the official fan Discord channel, I guess. A few of the members have collaborated together to bring out this English patch for the game. I have tested it out myself. It's still under work, so not all of it is fully translated yet, but they are working to get there and they are bringing out a lot of updates. So it would be very helpful and in your benefit if you could join the Discord channel as well, so you are always up to date with the latest patch update. Now, although it is for the mobile Chinese Wonderland, the patch is going to work only on the PC client of the mobile game. As you probably already know in the video I've made 2 years ago on getting started on the game, the mobile version also has a PC client where you can play the game with your mobile account but on your computer. So they are technically the same thing, just you can play on both platforms, mobile and computer. So in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to install the English patch. The guys have written the instructions on the installation in a very helpful way, but I thought that it might help some people if they could see how to actually do it as well. So I have asked for their permission to make a video as well. So huge disclaimer that this has not been made by me. I'm just showing you guys how to install it, and no one is to be held liable for any issues that occur while using this fan-made English patch. And just another quick disclaimer, the guys won't guarantee that the installation steps are not going to change in the future. So I was told by the main person involved in this that in the past there used to be another way of installing this English patch, but since then something else had to be added. So in case there is something that will change from the way it works at the moment, I will always leave a comment on this video. But if you do join the Discord server, you will always be up to date with all that stuff, so it really will benefit you. But anyway, let's get to the point. So first of all, you would need to download the PC version of the mobile game, and to do that you would have to go to wlm.980app.com and you will be greeted by this nice intro page, and you would have to click on this middle button here, which will take you to the download page. Now here you can see that the game has an App Store version, a Google Play version, 2 APKs in case you have some issues and you need to download it this way because it might not be available in Play Store. We've had that happen before. There's an IPA version, and of course the last one is the PC client. So of course on a computer that's the one that you need to download. So if you just click over there, it will ask you where you want to download it. This is just the installation, so you can click save, and this would be it over here. Now if you are prompted with this window, just click run, and this is the part where it asks you where you want to install the game. So this is just the usual installation of the game, so you would have to search for where you want to install it, client of them, and I'll make a new folder called Mobile WLO. Let's try again. Now to install it, you would have to click on this left button over here, and that would install the game for you. And there you go. That should be it. I'm not sure if something changed, because I remember it asking you to replace some files in the destination while you were installing it. So if it comes up for you for some reason on the screen with 3 options, well, 6 options, 3 on the first row, 3 on the bottom row, just go with the first row right in the middle. It should have an A between brackets, and that's the option to just replace some files if it asks you for it. But either way, once you've installed this, if you have any issues, you can have a look at the video I've made 2 years ago, because I was showing you there how to do it as well. And now that it has been installed, I will first show you that it's going to be in Chinese, of course, and then I'm going to show you how to install the English patch. Okay, so here's the Chinese version of the game. As I mentioned previously, it's going to be the same as the mobile version, just that you can play it on your computer as well with the same account. Just do make sure that you select the correct server on which you know you play on your mobile. By default, it usually gives you the new server, I guess, but if you have chosen the old server before, just make sure that you pick that as well. This is where you can pick the server. So I will log in with my usual account. If you've already played it, you know it's in Chinese. There's nothing really in English. I don't think there's much for me to show you at this point, so I'll just get right into how to install the English patch, I guess. So if you have the game already open, just make sure that you close it. Just make sure that you remember where you installed it previously. So in my case, it would probably be in here. These would be all the files, and you do need to know where it is, because we're going to make a few changes to these folders, but I'll get to that. So this is the official fan-made Discord channel for the Wonderland for Mobile community. They are very helpful, they are very friendly. They will always help you if you need anything, so don't be afraid to join. I will leave an invitation link in the description box so that you can join the server as well. And what I'm going to focus on at the moment is the PC translations chat, where Arthurs has created this whole chat room where they explained how to install this English patch. As I said, it's being updated quite frequently as well. They show you pictures and of all the things that have been updated. So if you want to keep up to date with all the English translations, then please do join the server, and let's get to the English patch installation. Once again, please do keep in mind that nobody will take responsibility for any loss or damage caused by the usage of modified files. Everybody should use it at their own risk. This is a disclaimer that just has to be put out there, because after all, it is a fan-made patch, so keep that in mind. Now, how to actually install this? First of all, you would have to make a copy of a few files from the original game files. I'll just make this a bit smaller so I can fit everything in. Yeah, so you would have to make a copy of 2 of the files before you actually install the patch, and the files will be found in the folder where you install the game, and then in w_data. Now in here you will have one of the files which you have to make a backup of, so simply just copy the file, shared assets1.assets, and then just make a copy of it anywhere else you want. I will just make it straight over there, and then you would have to go back, and in the folder managed you have the file assembly c#.dll, so you have to make a copy of that one as well, and I will copy it over there. I mean, I guess you don't necessarily have to make a copy. However, if the installation doesn't work, instead of you just reinstalling the game from scratch, you could probably just copy back those two files, delete the translation folder, and then supposedly it should go back to how it was before. So that's why it's recommended to make this backup of the files. Some of us live wild like me, and I usually don't make backups, but for the sake of this video I'm going to. So yeah, the next step would be actually downloading the patch from the pinned messages, because the latest patch will always be over there. So now in pinned messages over here, I'm using the desktop version of Discord, but on your phone you should probably see the pinned messages somewhere in the top right corner. In pinned messages you will always see the latest update of the patch. So the last update was last Friday, and you would just have to download this file, and you have the little download button over there. I have previously downloaded this already because I had to test it out for myself, because I was very curious what it looked like. Of course, I'm just showing you how to do it as well. So now that you downloaded the patch, you would have to extract the patch anywhere you want. So what I'll do is actually, never mind. So I know the patch downloads on my desktop, and what I'll do is I'll just delete the previous ones and I'll just keep this one. So you would have to actually extract the patch because it comes as an archive, so you need an archive program like WinRAR or WinZip, 7-zip, all that kind of stuff. And then right click and go extract to whatever the name of the file is. So it's probably going to be the date when the patch update has been made. And inside of there you're going to see something like this. A folder called patch and a changelog text. Now what you'll have to do once you've extracted that, you will have to move everything from the folder patch into the w_data and override the previously backed up files, and you will also gain a new folder called translations in the game files. So I will open the other one, so over here, just make this a bit smaller. So what we have to do now is basically copy everything from this patch folder. So all these files, we just have to copy them, go into the where the game is installed. We were in that folder just earlier because we had to make the backup of the files. And then in wl_data, over here we just have to go right click and paste. And we do have to replace the files in the destination, so do that. If you have Windows 7, I believe, it will be called copy and replace the files instead of just replace the files in the destination, so do click on that. And as you can see, our previous files were now replaced, and we have the new translations folder as well. However, that is not all, because if you're using the patch for the first time, what you would have to do is to clear the game cache. So this is a very important step, and to do that you would have to go to the cache folder, which can be found in local disk C, in users, and then in whatever the name of your user is. In my case it would be Alex. And now for you to be able to see the app data file, because it is a hidden folder, if you're using Windows 10 and possibly Windows 8 as well, at the top you would have to click on the View tab. If you can't see that, just click on that little arrow to the right side, and that should possibly pop down all the settings where you can see what you need next. And then you have to tick the box to see hidden items, because app data is always a hidden folder Now for those with possibly Windows 7 and anything below that, you would have to go into Control Panel. Most likely you would have to search in your Start for Control Panel, find it and then access it, and it will look like this. And now in your Control Panel you should have File Explorer options, I think. I'm not sure if the name has been changed from any other Windows, if this is only for Windows 10. Otherwise it should be called Folder Options, I think, with Windows 7 and Windows XP for those who still have it. So in Folder Options you will have View, and once again where it says Hidden Files and Folders, you will have to tick the button Show Hidden Files, Folders and Drives, because usually it will be ticked not to show it. So you would have to show that, apply, and OK. So then you should be able to see the app data folder, and inside of there you will have to navigate to local low, then Unity, web player, and in the folder cache you would have this 980x, a lot of underscores, M. So that would be the cache of the game, and this has to be deleted for your English translation patch to work. So right click and delete the folder, and do make sure that you delete it from your recycle bin as well, just in case. That's like a permanent delete basically. And I think now you should be able to just open the game and play. I will have to go where I installed the game again because I don't have a shortcut of the game anymore. The game doesn't create a shortcut automatically, which sucks. And in the files where you installed it, you will have this wl.exe, and that's from where you launch your game. Now every time you open the game you will be prompted by the configuration of how you want the game to run, and you can pick a screen resolution. Do make sure you have the window ticked, just so you don't play in full screen. You can pick the quality of the graphics. I would recommend fantastic if your computer can take it. Otherwise, if you notice the game being a bit laggy or anything like that, just put it on fastest. So then I'm gonna hit play. That just has to be put me. I'm just showing you guys how to install. But don't forget that it's going to take quite a long time possibly for the game to load the first time after you deleted the cache folder. It shouldn't take too long, but if you notice it takes a few seconds more than usual, then that's perfectly fine. And as you can see, the game is already in English. You can pick the server again. Do make sure you select the old one if you play on the old one, and new one if you play on the new one, of course. And then in account you will have your ID and password, and then you can click sign in, and then you can click on play on your account. And as you can see, most of the stuff is now in English. So as you know, because there's an offline training feature in this game, because I left my account doing offline training earlier, it tells me how much experience I gained in that time. So now, as you can see, most of the buttons are now translated as well. Most of the items are also translated. For example, the tent. Some of the items which were not available in the old English version of the game from IGG, I suppose are going to take some time until they're translated properly. But the guys are constantly working on it, so do not worry about that. As you probably know by now, when you start the game, you automatically get the advanced version of the remote control, which has also been translated. The advanced part has also been translated, which is quite great because I'm usually confusing stuff around. So let's just click on a few characters and see what they say. Welcome to Kellam Village. Another villager over here. Let's use the teleport scroll and go somewhere like... Oh, look, they actually translated the teleport scroll as well, which is pretty great actually. I always had to look on the old Wonderland Online map on Google just to make sure that I was going to the right place. Nope. I want to go to fishing village, so China. There are a few bugs with the game in general where some characters may appear on the map and then they disappear. That was happening beforehand anyway. So that's not related, so don't worry about anything like that. Let's just click on someone. Oh look! So all the usual quests from the past, which were available on the Wonderland Online, I guess, have also been translated for this one. Oh look, it's a quest. It's an angry chicken. So I got the chicken egg, and now I give her the egg. Oh look, I finished the quest. Well done. Cool stuff. I think this is a really well made English fan patch. Really grateful for the guys for doing this. Since this is a quest which probably came with the mobile version, or if it's available with the usual Chinese version, because that one is more up to date than our English version ever was. I guess those quests will be translated in time. So, as mentioned before, they are always trying to update the patch with more and more translations. So if you want to be kept up to date, do join the Discord server and you will always have access to the latest patch. And every time there is a new patch, you will have to override those files, just as you installed it for the first time. Now, just that next time you do it, you won't have to delete the cache folder. Otherwise, it should work the same. And yeah, that's about it. I hope this works for you, and I hope you have fun. I'll quickly go through all the buttons on the side. It's not going to be much. So the one which says quest is basically a quest tracker, so all the quests you've already started. I can see some of them are translated, which is cool. G war is basically the guild war. So if you're in a guild, you will have this every, I don't know what day, between 8 and 10 p.m. of the server time, I suppose. I haven't actually done this before, so I'm not going into it much. Then you have the daily PvP, or PK as you can see. Basically, the daily PvP is a new feature brought in the Mobile Wonderland Online, and you have unlimited chances every day to battle other players, and you can win chests when you win the battle, of course, from which you can get really cool prizes like green gems, wooden puppets for offline training, potential pills, and a few other things. You do have 10 chances to win any battle you do, and within those 10 chances you earn some sort of rank, and you're put up in a rank which contributes to your guild in a way. It's a bit more complicated for me to go into right now. And once you've opened the chests, one chest will reset after 6 hours, so that spot will be blank and you can fight again to get another chest. You can fight as many times as you want. However, if you already have chests, in the spots, I would wait until the reset unless you want to spend green gems to clear the chests yourself, so you don't have to wait for those 6 hours. But that's entirely up to you. Under social, you will see the daily sign-in, where you can sign in for every day of the month, and you get some cool prizes as well. For every 5-day streak, 10-day, 15, 20, 25, you get some extra cool stuff. As you can see, they also give you training tickets because there is no bursting in this version, so all training has to be done manually. You can set up a shop. Please do keep in mind that it's very limited. The trading system and the selling system here is very limited, and you can't really sell a lot of stuff apart from items over level 70, which have been compounded in alchemy. Very few tent items, which are used to manufacture other stuff. So that's not very helpful, but it's good they did put the shop in after all, because in the beginning there wasn't anything like it anyway. Then you have a page where you can see all of your friends, but also there's this feature where you can actually add friends from this list. So they will find people on the server close to your level or stuff like that, and you can add them as friends if you want. There will be your guild, which seems to have been translated as well. On the nearby button, you can see what other people are in the same area as you, and from there you can click on them and add them as friends or team up and stuff like that. And then you have the emote part, which is this. Then you have the events. The first tab is for instances, the second tab is for the daily events, and the last tab is for the new feature of daily. So this one is like a daily PvP like you get with the PK, but you can play with other teammates. So for example, with your own team if you want, against other players, so others can join and help out. And then you have like another daily event type thing where you also pick other people to help you out with, again with your own team if you want. But this one is actually like a series of 3 fights, one after the other, where you fight some pirates, and it's quite a harder one to do, but the rewards are so great. Now of course item is basically your inventory. Then you have the skills, which also have been translated, as long as the skill is not something that did not exist before, I guess. Then you have the alchemy. Then you have your group, where you can see your pets, and also this would be if you are in a team with other people, and from here you can pick who to be the leader of the team and that kind of stuff. And the last one is of course the settings. And to go quickly through these, you can turn off the music and the sound effects. If you don't want people to join your battle while you're in a battle, you turn that off, so they can't jump in and help you out. PK, you can leave it on if you want people to randomly pick on you and fight you, otherwise just keep that off. Join team, if you don't want people to randomly join your team or invite you to join their team and that kind of stuff, keep that off. The same goes for trading. You can keep that on or off if you want to be traded or not. If you don't want to see other players' names, you can put that off, or if you don't want to see other players on the map around you, you can also put this off. It does help with the lag sometimes when there's a lot of players on the same channel. So now here on the server, it's basically telling you that you're on the old server, and you can pick one of the 5 channels to go on, like it used to be with Aries 1, Aries 2, Taurus 1, Taurus 3, all that kind of stuff. So now with the English translation patch, the guys have forced it so that you will always log in on the channel 1, because you can't pick the channel, you can only pick the server old or new. but now it's forced to go on channel 1 all the time, so you can meet up with your characters quicker. Since everyone who uses the English patch may be put on channel 1, keep in mind it might get a bit laggy at times unless you change the channel. In exchange, I'm not quite sure what this exchange number is, unless it might be related to recharging green diamonds. Either way, then you have the teleport to Starter's Beach, or the beach, and your recorded spot, which I'm not quite sure what mine is. Then dolls for offline. Quite a lot of people are training at the moment, most likely offline or either online. If you want to turn off other people on the map, you might actually have to change the channel or log out and log back in, because it will not always make them disappear completely. And at the moment I can still see their pets, for example. And that's about it with the English translation. And that was a quick insight on the main translated buttons.